What's up and welcome back to the Scuffed Ass Podcast for episode number 327. I'm tired and that's wonder.
I'm also tired.
What do you gotta be tired about?
I have a child. Period.
Sounds like communist propaganda to me.
Well, it's like having a communist in your house. They just dictate whatever you want, whatever you're doing 90% of the time. But also, Chandler was late.
This is true, I was late. By like 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's rough.
I get to pretend to be mad at him.
Yeah.
Although I literally don't give a shit.
See, I used to get mad, and it wasn't even the fact that he was late. Like, it didn't bother me if I would know he was going to be late. It was I'd sit there for an hour when there was also a thing I had planned afterwards, and I just hear nothing. And then he shows up, and it is the most nothing burger excuse back then. It's like, I got distracted with the game I was playing. And it's like, fuck off and die.
To be fair, I've matured.
That's true. That has changed a lot.
Usually pretty, well, especially because there's so much on my plate anymore. I try to let people know that, hey, my car blew up.
Yeah, that's also fair. He does very often do the, hey, this thing is happening. And I'm like, well, fuck. All right, we'll figure it out.
Because the other day, when I had to go fight the fire, I could have just not said anything and then never showed up. But I was like, I don't want you sitting there for 2.5 hours wondering if I choked on peanut butter or something.
Yeah. It's like, what?
Or wondering if Aspen finally had enough of my shit and just, shot me.
Real.
Or killed me with a frying pan or some shit. She's kind of a scary person sometimes.
Fair.
Anyhow, my day was boring. You know what I did today?
What'd you do today?
I did 8 hours worth of EPA classwork.
Oh, fun.
And the most annoying part about it is, out of the 8 hours worth of classwork stuff I did for the environmentalists, 10 minutes of it is all that it pertained to me, but I am still required to take the classes.
Love that.
Yes. And it's not necessarily the people who are presenting the classes' fault. It is just the most dry, unentertaining material you could possibly think of. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just trying to stay awake was because I didn't sleep well last night. So I'm over there like fighting for my life.
Did anybody? Jesus Christ. Did anybody sleep good last night? Literally anyone in the world. It is Tuesday, the 19th. Did anyone sleep good the prior night? Please comment below.
I will say Aspen did, although that's just because so some nights Tatum is very good and other nights not so much. But the last couple nights, she's been pretty good. We give her bath, we feed her, Aspen sits with her in the chair for 15, 20 minutes, and then she zonks out, and then usually we can put her down, and she's been pretty good until about 1 or 2 in the morning, and then Aspen has to wake up anyway, because after a certain amount of time she starts getting very uncomfortable if she doesn't feed. So she gets up, goes and feeds her, and she's been able to go back to sleep afterwards. So, and then after I leave, usually we put her in her swing for a little bit, and she likes her swing, and she's either awake and content, or she falls asleep in her swing, and allows Aspen to get a few more hours of sleep if she wants to. It's kind of nice because we got this I I think somebody bought it off our registry for us, but it's like a camera, and we have it set up, and it's got its own little like, it looks like a Game Boy or something. It's got a screen on it, and you can sit there and just you can watch her, and it hears noises, and it also monitors like room temperature and all kinds of things. So it's kind of nice. So we don't have to be like in the room and to be able to watch her and stuff. So that way, when I'm not, because now that I'm back to work, Aspen wouldn't be able to get anything done outside because she would have to either have the kid out there with her or would not be able to go outside. And so having the screen, she could just carry the screen around and actually get some yard work done if she wants to, which is nice. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Yep. The annoying part about work is when I left, I had 66 work orders, which is about 3 pages of work orders. When I came back, I have 179 work orders, which is about 10 pages of work orders.
What, was nobody else there working or what?
Well, yes, and yes, but the thing is, I'm gone. We were supposed to have another person hired, but I think I told that story on the podcast a few episodes ago, where the guy showed up for one day and then decided it wasn't for him, which screwed us because we waited for him for over a month in order for him to be able to start, and he quit after a day, and then it had been long enough. We can't call the other candidates. We have to reopen the job. So now it'll be months before we even get another person hired, possibly, again. And so there was only technically 2 people on camp, and it's a very busy time of the year because all the water starts coming back on. You have to return on all the tanks and stuff around the areas for fire mitigation and all this stuff, and there's just so much stuff, and there's only 2 people there to do it. And so it's not 100% their fault, and they've been working their tails off while I was not around. But also half the work orders that I have I have a shit ton of PM work orders, which are monthly and weekly. They reoccur. And because I've been gone, nobody else's names are on those PMs, and so they can't close those.
Gotcha.
Hey,
bless you.
Yes, I've been sneezing my head off lately.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I try not to. But so I can't just go through and close all those work orders because technically somebody did them, and they're getting big on tracking our hours and our time and stuff of what we do. And so my boss wants to go through and add all the times to whoever did what while I was gone before we close them, which is like 120 freaking work orders.
Fun.
So, yeah. But I can say I'm not real enthused about being back to work. Let's just say that.
Fair.
But.
Fair. Oh. Well, that's crazy. Though you're not excited about being back to work. What, did you enjoy being home?
I mean, I don't feel like I was home much. It just feels like we were always on the move and got some stuff done at home, but not nearly as much as I would have liked. But it is what it is. Now I look forward to getting married, and then I look forward to going on our honeymoon someday.
I was gonna say, do you have honeymoon kind of picked, planned, thought of?
It's got to be like 3 or 4 months after the wedding before we can go. So
sad, but fair.
Yeah, because with Aspen not being with her company for a year, she didn't qualify for FMLA. So she had to take short-term disability which was both good and bad because the good thing was that they gave her 12 weeks
Yeah.
at home. The bad part is she has to use all of her saved time. And so when she goes back to work, she will not have any time. And so we'll have to wait 3 or 4 months for her to accumulate enough time to go on her honeymoon, which she could still request the time off, and her boss is probably not going to be like, oh no, you can't go. He'll probably let her go, but the thing is she just won't get paid for those days. So
Fun.
there's that. Worst comes to worst, she should just bring her work laptop and work from the hotel. So like if we leave on like a Thursday or a Wednesday or whatever, and has just for those 3 days she just works from the hotel. That wouldn't be too bad. Although I'd rather she just not have to worry about any of that shit. So I wish she was a state employee and not part of the contractors. It's like if she actually worked for the prison, she would be state, and she could request donated sick leave, and I could just give her a whole bunch of sick leave because I have quite a bit. But unfortunately, she's on the nonprofit side and on the contractor side, so I can't do that.
Gotcha.
But either way, we're going on a honeymoon.
Do you have a clue where you want to go?
We plan to go to Black Hawk in Colorado.
Okay. Yeah.
So the reason why we say that is there's a lot in the area to do. And the last time we were there, we brought like $200 between the two of us to gamble with, and we gambled on $200 for the entire day.
Yeah.
So, and I think we either broke even or we walked out with a little bit of money, because right away Aspen hit like $500.
Nice.
And so I think we left there, it was up $300 when we left. So it was pretty fun.
What made you pick that over Deadwood though? Just curious.
Just because there was more to do. Like Deadwood has things to do too, but like just in the general area, you got like Estes Park. There's like a couple of like gold mines that they made into like tourist stuff that you can go see. We plan on going to do that because I'm into the gold mining thing, and there's quite a bit of other stuff to do just in the general area that was appealing to us. So yeah.
Fair.
It just and to me it's kind of a prettier area. Like Black Hawk is in the mountains, a lot of trees.
Yeah.
I feel like the hotels are a lot nicer.
Fair.
Their suites and their their rooms and stuff are a lot nicer.
Fair.
We were looking at an Airbnb because the one we were originally looking at would have been cheaper than staying at the hotel
if it actually existed.
But
Airbnbs are a nightmare. Maybe. Do you not remember my TwitchCon Airbnb the one time?
I do remember that, but
it can say it exists, but not actually exist.
Right, but well, I mean, this one had like a whole bunch of like comments from previous people.
Well, no, I know. So did that one. They sold it in the time between when I booked it and when we got there, and then.
Well, yeah, but you're you, and how often does that actually happen?
A lot, actually.
So
Airbnbs being fucked up happens daily.
Well, either way, it ended up being a lot cheaper to go to the hotel because first responder discounts.
Yeah.
So we get discounts and stuff like that. and weirdly enough, I think they had a AAA discount also, which Aspen has AAA.
Okay.
So like it ended up, it's going to be a lot cheaper for us to stay at the hotel than to stay at the Airbnb, which the Airbnb would have been cool because it was like a cabin that was in the woods and nice view and all the good stuff. But you know, the perk of staying in the actual hotel is we are in the area where we plan to gamble, so we don't have to drive anywhere. We can just walk.
That's nice.
You know? And a lot of stuff we can do right there and not have to drive. But we do plan to go run around Estes Park and visit the America's Most Haunted Hotel and all the good stuff,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I know Aspen's excited. We're just excited because we've never actually like went and did something together, just her and I. There's always been we've gone to Colorado and stayed at Cody's cabin and stuff like that, and but there was always someone else with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we never really got to just go do something, just her and I.
Yeah.
So we very much look forward to doing that. I know it's going to be a little tough on us because it's going to feel like wrong to leave Tatum, But, she's like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it leaving Tatum behind. But I'm like, she's not going to be like she is right now, where she's like really little and vulnerable, and she'll be 6 months old, maybe older, and a lot more forgivable when it comes to having babysitters, so you don't have to worry about her as much, the suffocating in their sleep or whatever else. You don't have to worry about that quite as much, or her not wanting to eat, or they're a little more in control of their bowel movements and all this other stuff, so it won't be as bad, or as worrisome and stuff like that. And so the only thing's going to be figuring out who's going to watch her. And we had Rena in mind, but we felt we would feel bad like if we go for 6 days that Rena had her for all 6 days, So we were thinking like maybe Rena has her for 3 days and then my mom has her for 3 days, or she has her for 2, mom has her for 2, and then maybe the nieces and nephews can watch her for a couple days or something like that. So,
sure.
But
gotcha.
So, but either way, it'll get worked out. Excited for the wedding. I am surprised because like we had like 140 people that was going to that RSVP'd for the reception. And so we're like, man, we invited 500 people or more. And so we were like, damn, that's not nearly as much as we thought we were going to come, but it was like, that's still quite a bit of people. And so her dad is cooking all of the meat for the wedding. So he's like, how much meat do I need to order? So we originally told him a number or whatever. So it was like, oh, maybe it's looking like 550 people or whatever. And then people started getting a hold of us and telling us that they were having trouble with RSVPing because the stupid website would tell them that, oh, you don't have access.
Oh.
Or your access has been removed or some shit like that. It was weird. Or it would completely just remove them from the system, even though we had added them. We go in there and search their name to try and, see what's going on, and it just completely deleted them for no reason. So I can't remember what it's called, the website, but if Aspen and I had to go do this again, we would never fucking use this website again. It has been nothing but a pain in the ass.
Good to know.
And then it also, like, the most simple feature that would have made it so much nicer is sometimes you're like, okay, so how many kids does this person have? And it's like, oh, I think they have 3, maybe they have 4, I don't know. So you put down 3, and then later on find out 4, or they're bringing someone else or something like that. You can't just like, oh, and add an extra person or an extra child or something like that. You have to go through, delete their name, and then go through and reset up all the bullshit again. And it's just a royal pain in the ass. And
see,
so it's just stupid.
And the fact that that's the way it's set up is weird, because that just adds so much extra work for you, because it should be a thing where, like, it's set up with, you have, it's like a locked page, so you can share it publicly, but it's locked to actually do anything behind a password that you actually send out with the invitations. And then it's locked in 3 different ways. So somebody like me or your close family or whatever that's invited to the wedding and the reception gets, one password. And then there's one that's just for the wedding and one that's just for the reception, and you can go through that way. And that way it's restricted in that way. And I guess there are workarounds for that, but apparently there are workarounds for everything. So
the way this one
for
works,
a wedding invite, I don't expect people to be like, how can I cheat my way into something that they specifically didn't invite me to? Most people don't do that. So
So the way we did it, and according to the website, is we mailed out the invites to most. So everybody that was coming to the wedding got mailed invites, and within the invites in the envelope, you had the irregular card that most people got, which was to the reception. And then you had a smaller card in there that invited them to the wedding. Mm-hmm. And in the system, when we put them in the system, we put 2 options, which was you're invited to the reception and the wedding. So some people just see you're invited to the reception, and then other people, when they logged in, they would see reception and wedding, and you could check mark, oh, I'm just going to the wedding, or I'm going to the reception, or both. So that's how that works. So that wasn't the hard part. It was just the fact that it was malfunctioning and not working properly like it should. And then the features that were making it hard to use, which that was stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we went from in the last 3 days. So Aspen had posted on Facebook like, hey, if you would really like to come to the wedding, contact us. And we can add you to the list if you really want to come to the wedding, which we didn't have anybody that, that contacted us, but there were some people that were like, oh shit, we haven't done that yet, which was part of the reason why we wanted to do that, was so people who had forgotten about the wedding could, oh shit, we got 3 days to RSVP if we're going to go,
Yeah.
And so we got a whole bunch of people that RSVP'd in the last 3 days, which put us up to 180 people or something like that. So oh, okay, there was quite a few people that forgot about the RSVP. So then there was quite a few people where I was like, well, I can't believe they haven't even responded or something like that with, oh, we're busy, or so I'm like, well, I wondered if they even got their RSVPs or if they're also having problems with it. So then we started messaging people like, hey, just trying to get a head count for, people going to the wedding, By doing that, we're up to 230 people or something like that. So almost 100 extra people in the last few minutes. So we had to call Aspen's dad back and be like, you might want to make it 250
Nice.
for the meet. But yeah, it's been a very stressful ordeal, because we went from, we're getting married. Hey, we have plenty of time to do all this stuff. And then we found out we were pregnant 2 days later. And then we were buying a house. And then we had all this stuff going on. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh shit. We have very little time to get invites sent out and made and all this stuff and get everything organized. And so it's been definitely a lot more stressful on Aspen than it is for me, because I'm just, I'm a guy. So I'm oblivious to what's going on around me, really. And
normally you are, yeah.
Yes. So, well, I'm I've never been married before. And
Neither has Aspen.
nor have I even looked into getting married and what goes into getting married and stuff. Like, I know the concept. I don't even go to weddings. I hate weddings.
That's fair.
You know?
Oh, dude, the last wedding I went to was my fucking brother's.
Yeah,
Over a decade ago.
Yeah, same. So that's been freaking 20 years ago.
Yeah, mine's what, 11?
Yeah. So, but anyway, people invite me to weddings, and I'm like, I just don't like weddings. I just do not like them, and so I just don't go to weddings. And so I'm oblivious to what goes into it, and which is, thank God for Aspen, because she has been on top of getting everything organized and getting things lined out, making sure we need what we have what we need and all this other stuff. And so it's been very overwhelming for her. And I'm just like, I don't know how to help, so it makes me feel bad. But, it'll make us feel a lot better when we're married and the wedding's done and over with. Not that I don't look forward to the wedding, but I will be happy when the stress of the wedding has came and went. Let's just say that. So there's so much that goes into being married, especially when you are having a bit of a public type of marriage where you have quite a few people coming, and because there was a time where her and I were just like, let's just elope and call it good. We'll have a party later on in life, or just invite a few people, have a nice dinner, and go woohoo and call it good. Enjoy the cheaper taxes, I guess. But then that turned into like, well, our families would be really mad if we did something like that. So, because you really think about it, it's not just a wedding for you two, the two people that are getting married. It's also a wedding for the family. It's a big deal for families. So
yeah,
understandably.
like, it is, but it's not. Like, yes, it's for the family, but also it's what you and her want, and that's important.
Right.
You can't just let, and I'm not saying you guys did, obviously. It's the thing you hear a lot, right? It's like, yeah, it was our wedding, but everything was actually decided by someone's mom or something, and we didn't get actually anything we want. It's like, that's stupid. It's your day. As much as it is important for your family, it also is most important for you two. I know it's the celebrations for everybody else. It's like, no, it should be for you. I don't like this idea that we've let it become this. It should be for everybody else. No, fuck that. We're the ones celebrating, like, the idea of spending, the rest of our lives together or whatever, not the family. Stop.
Right. Well, I think it's a little different because, like, it's both families are very involved. You don't always have that sometimes.
That's fair.
And so I wouldn't want to deal with my side of the family, and I'm sure she wouldn't want to deal with her side of the family, being like, I can't believe you did that, and just whining about the fact that we didn't have a traditional type wedding that they got to be a part of. And it is, to me, that's thing. As much as eloping would be so much easier, to me, I want the idea of both families coming together and really getting to know each other.
Oh, that part for sure. Yeah.
Because they don't really know each other. Neither side of the family, they don't know the history. They don't really. The only people that really know each other is Aspen and I. Yeah. And the two families especially living 9 hours apart. It's not like I married the girl down the road that I went to high school my entire life with or something like that.
Right.
It's I'm marrying somebody who was born and raised 9 hours from where I'm at. And so these all of these people have no idea who they are, who each other are. So I find that to be very important if we're going to be together, especially for future events and things like that, to bring these people together so they're not, they're not foreign to each other. So, yeah. but I'm glad that things are going the way they are. Things
Yeah.
are kind of getting lined out. And the good thing is because we have a very involved family, they are very helpful in, okay,
For
well,
sure.
you guys don't worry about this. We'll have it set up. We're doing the decorating. We're doing the food. You know, you guys just focus on the stuff that you need to do as far as getting the dress together and your tuxes and all this stuff. You guys just focus on that and we'll take care of the rest. And so
Yeah.
that part's been nice. You know, of course, they still come to us for input, like, oh, what do you guys want? You know, do you want this? Do you want that? You know, they still come with that, but we don't have to worry about, oh my God, is this stuff going to get done? You know,
Right.
so there's going to be a lot of manpower once the families get here. So
Yeah. Now I'm realizing where my thing. So like I wasn't talking about doing the wedding bigger because you want to, you know, appease the families and bring them together is not what I was talking about explicitly. It was like everything involved with the wedding. You know what I mean? Like not letting them specific. Yeah. I was like doing the, you know, more grand wedding just because, you know, the family would want it. That's fine. I just meant if you're going to do that, everything should be what you guys want, not, you know, somebody else. Well, and I'm not saying that's what was happening at all, obviously. I just know that's a thing that does.
Right. And honestly, truly, I think we wanted to have, you know, a wedding kind of like what we're having.
Yeah.
It was just the idea of, oh, it'd be so much less stress if we just eloped, you know. But I think we both would have been disappointed if we'd have just, you know, we'd have been happy that we're together and, you know, all that. But I think we would have been disappointed that we did take advantage of the opportunity to bring the families together, you know.
See, which makes a ton of sense. My thought would be like, and you know, it's all situational, but like you could elope so that part was over with, because that does take away a lot of the stress of the actual wedding.
Right.
If you can set up, because you can set it up as just a ceremony without all of the actual legal things that have to tie in that you have to sort through later. So it's like you could elope and then 2 years later finally do an actual wedding and still do the bring everybody in, have the ceremony, have the reception, have this whole thing, where it's like for you guys it's like, well, actually we're celebrating our 2-year anniversary, but for everybody else this is like a new thing and that's fun for you guys and you still get the thing. If it works out to, you know, do a wedding earlier, that's cool. There's so many factors at play there though.
Well, the thing that really kind of sucks though is there's people on both sides of the family that if they knew the fact that we weren't actually getting married on the moment, they would not come.
That's fair.
And you know, and then people would say, well, you won't even want them at your wedding anyway. But it's like, they're still part of the family and I still want them to come. I don't want them to have an excuse to not come. Let's just say that. And so there's people on both sides of the family that they'll use every excuse they can in the book to not come. But it's like, we, you know, I get it. You don't want to come to it, but like, we also want you to come to it so that you familiarize yourself with who your family member is getting married to, you know? So I don't know. It's a weird feeling, like, and it's important for me that both sides of the family are there to meet each other. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's just my feeling. That's not necessarily how Aspen feels. I'm not advocating for her completely.
Sure.
She might have her own opinions and stuff like that, but that's just mostly how I feel. I know I would have been very disappointed if we wouldn't have had a wedding like we're having, really. And it's weird because I never really thought about it that much until the last few years, because there was a short little period of my life where I was like, maybe I just won't get married. I'll just be a bachelor my whole life, you know?
Trust me, I get it. I definitely thought that about me. But now it's like, there are things to think about.
Like it only takes in my case, a swipe of a finger, and the next thing you know,
Actually,
you
same.
the next thing you know, you're having children and getting married, or in your case, probably getting married, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Oh no,
So,
that's already the plan.
well, yeah,
But
yep. So,
technically, I already have the day picked.
yeah. Wow.
But we talked about this once, I think.
Uh,
We might have talked
yeah.
about it on the podcast.
I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast because I think this is the first time that I've heard you publicly say it, but
Well, maybe truly publicly, but you know, it's
I'm sure
the
people knew.
yeah, we do because it's the she wants to get married on Halloween,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
definitely not this year because that would be insane. Next year, one of her friends gets married in October, so you don't want to do that.
Right.
It's like her best friend gets married on like I can't remember the exact day, but you know, sometime in the same month. You don't want to do that. Like same month, same year. You don't want to do that. That's weird. So it's like, well, that kind of leaves our answer. You know,
It's funny because there's a lot of people that would call me psychotic, especially on the female side of the aisle. That like a lot they ask, well, how long is long enough before you should think about getting married? And a lot of people say 1 year, which, in my opinion, is not long enough.
interesting.
I feel like a good period is 3 years.
Interesting.
Because I feel like a year, you're still kind of in that, I don't know, kind of that, oh my God, I'm in a relationship kind of thing. There hasn't been any time for any type of fatigues or little things that boil into something that's unable to get over. You're not able to get over, you know. I feel like, and that's just me. I'm not speaking for everybody. In my opinion, coming from someone who has been in very long-term relationships in just about every relationship he was in.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a 6-year relationship, and in each relationship, I thought to myself, okay, you know, I'm looking towards. I don't get into a relationship unless I'm planning on being with this person for a very long time, if not forever.
Right.
You know, so there's been multiple times where I thought, okay, this is the one, and then as time went on, and I'm telling you, the first couple of years, oh my god, it's great, the relationship's great, and then you start getting a few things here and there, or people change a little bit, or whatever, and you know, things don't work out, and a lot of people, you know, especially on the female side of the aisle, really are like, oh my god, you wait that long, I'm gonna kill you, you know. But I feel like if you're truly a match for each other, it does not matter how long you wait.
Fair.
You will always be like, you know, I don't see myself being with anybody else.
Yeah.
But if somebody after 3 years is upset that you haven't proposed to them, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that because I know people that have broken up with their spouse because they haven't proposed yet to them.
Yeah.
You know, and part of me understands that hey, this person's not showing commitment.
Yeah.
But also if they haven't shown anything that oh hey, I'm disinterested, then who really cares? You know.
So it's a thing where like I agree there's always going to be things that come up, but like, yeah, you could wait 3 years, but also even if you wait 10 years, I don't know this from personal experience, but you know, experience of being next to it, you can wait 10 years to get married and then 10 years later, things still happen. People change, bad things happen, habits that weren't a problem become a problem. Like, it's just a thing. And it's whether you're able to work through those or not. Because there's also the thing of like, you know, it depends on in those 3 years, how much time did you get to spend together? You know, if you're only getting 2 days every week where you actually get to spend time together, that changes, you know, how much you get to see of the other person. Whereas if like within 8 months, you're actually together every day, suddenly, you know, a year and a half is the same as 4 years. because you've spent,
Right.
it's like, it's more an amount of time and how much you are with that other person. And then it
Right.
also depends on the people, because some people, you know, reach their boiling point with things that bother them much faster than other people do.
Uh-huh.
So it's like,
Right.
then it becomes a, how do you work through those moments and whatever. And then like the
Yeah.
commitment thing, I get it. You know, it shouldn't matter if you wait or if you don't, but it's also like, I don't know. Like I get it, but I also understand people being like, I don't want to wait until I'm 35 for you to figure out you want to marry me.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like I totally understand that also, where it's like, you know, after,
Mhm.
and like it's different for everybody, you know, because I still think people are insane for, you know, you can talk about marrying somebody within, you know, a couple months, sure. Like you can talk about it. That doesn't mean it's going to happen soon. That would be insane. People do that, which is more insane to me. You know, the people who know each other for 3 weeks and then get married, and not the just drunken Vegas type, because that's different.
Right.
It's
Right.
stupid, but it's different.
Right. Well, so Aspen and I have been together for over 3 years.
Which is crazy to
Um,
me.
Yes, and that's something that I will say. The person that I'm actually marrying, out of all the long-term relationships I've had, it's weird because like all the other relationships I had, say I was in the relationship for 4 years or 3 years or 6 years, they felt like 6 years or they felt like 3 years or 4 years. This relationship I've been in, it feels like it hasn't been that long. Like it's just we have like we are so compatible that it just feels like I don't know. It feels like it's been a very long time and a very short time at the same time. It's hard to explain.
No, I get it.
It just feels so much different when
Because
you're
it
with
feels
the
like
person.
you've known her forever, but
Exactly.
also it feels like you met her a month ago.
Exactly. So I still have the excitement of being in a fresh new relationship and being excited about where this could go, but also feel like I've known this person for my entire life.
Yeah, it's
And-
because the honeymoon phase that people say is a thing isn't a thing. It's a thing in relationships that aren't actually the one you're meant to be in. Because
Exactly.
it's a thing where it's like, oh, this is new, this is great, this is wonderful. And then it's like, oh, there are these things that I can't look past where we don't gel. And
Right.
when you actually are with somebody that you do gel 100% with, that, you know, this is exciting, this is awesome, I love this feeling, never really leaves. There are days, obviously, that's how humans work. There are days where I want to shoot this guy. It's just life.
Right.
Like,
So that I guess that's a good way to put it. That's the reason why I feel like 3 years, because I feel like the honeymoon phase can last more than just a year. I feel like it can last up to a few years, and then either one or the other can show disinterest in one another. So I feel like it's not. I mean, I would wait at least a year
Yeah.
before you even think about marriage. But I think a good Goldilocks zone is 3 years. And that might be a little bit long, but
sure.
I would rather be sure that this other person is interested in me for the long haul, and
Yeah.
just I hate to say it, but there's a lot of people out there that lose interest just after the honeymoon phase is over. And I've experienced it.
Like, I get it. But I think that the amount of time for the phase, I think the like less than a year thing is correct. But again, when, you know, a majority of your time spent with somebody is texts or phone calls, it's never the same. You don't
Right.
act the same in,
Uh-huh.
you know, even on, you know, a FaceTime call or a Discord video chat. You don't act the same as you do in person. And
Yeah.
there are, you know, little things that people don't see. So, you know, it
Yeah.
truly is like, I don't know, putting a direct amount of time on something just doesn't work in
Right.
a
That's
world
something
where
I
it's
will
like,
say. Like, if you were to get married in around a year or a little over, I feel like if it was something like, oh, hey, we've moved in together and we've lived together
yeah,
for a year, that's different than if somebody has been together
yes,
for a year and a half, texting or not living with each other.
yeah,
Because a good friend of mine who it was the perfect relationship, and then they moved in together and found out they loved each other. It's not from because they didn't love each other and they didn't
yeah,
like each other, but they could not stand each other to live. They could not live with each other.
yeah.
One was a super clean freak, the other one was just kind of nonchalant, and it pissed each other off, and it just turned into a whole shit show. And they are still really good friends, but they just realized that, hey, we are not compatible to live together.
Fair.
The yin and yang was a little too much for them.
Which is super interesting because, like, I wonder how people don't notice that. And, like, again, maybe it's
Right.
just the actual time they spend together, but, like, my
Right.
girlfriend's been here, 3 nights a week every week for, months. It's like you'd figure at those periods, you can't keep up this idea that you're a super clean freak if you're not for that long. You really can't. Eventually,
Right.
that mask is going to slip. So, how did you hide what you were from them for so long that they,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, that's
Well,
weird to
I
me.
I don't think that's necessarily what it is. I think it's a, oh, I realize this person's kind of messy, but I'm a clean freak. That should work out. Somebody's got to clean the place. But after they actually move in together and they experience it, it bothers them a lot more than they thought it would.
See, but I think, like, and I don't know, maybe this is just me and my, you know, constant people pleasing nature and like the always trying to figure, you know me. As
Right.
much as I hate people, I also, am a fucking idiot. So, shout out me.
Right.
Think
Well, I'm
of
kind of the same
everything in my
way.
life I could have avoided if I just stopped doing things for people.
Mhm.
But like, if you have that problem, or like, especially after you move in together, if there's this thing, like, and maybe they did talk about it, and person B just didn't do whatever they talked about, but like, I feel like it's like, hey, this thing, like, I don't like that you leave dishes in the sink all the time. Will you start either doing them or putting them in the dish? Like, whatever. The little stuff like that. You got to have those conversations instead of just being like,
Right.
oh, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. If it bugs you, have the conversation.
Right. Communication, I will say, I know it is, a repetitory thing that is said all the time, but communication truly is
Oh, it
key
matters so
to a
much.
successful relationship. If something is bothering you, let it be known. Do not pent it up inside of you and pretend like it's not happening and pretend like it's not bothering you, because eventually it's kind of like a volcano. It'll lie dormant until it's not. So just be vocal. Don't be an asshole about it. Be cordial, because presentation is everything when it comes to talking to a significant other.
Yeah.
Don't come to it like, what the hell, man? Come to it, hey, I'm really getting tired of doing the dishes all the time. Would you please be willing to I'm not saying all the time, but wash a dish here and there when you're done using it, or something like that. Or, you know, would
Yeah.
you take out the garbage once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, that person, if they truly care about you, will be like, oh, why didn't you say something?
Yep.
You know? So, yeah. So, great thing. Communicate, be cordial,
Yeah.
don't be an asshole about it. So, also, I would say it's a really good idea to learn, which I'm sure over time you will. If you're living together, if you're around this person a lot, you'll learn what kind of person they are. Do they tend to bottle things up? Are they really emotional about certain things? Are they super laid back and chill? So and then you two both have to learn who each other are and learn you know, how to deal with their expressive emotions. So.
Yeah.
But I don't know how this ended up being the conversation that we had, but
I don't either.
it's something, I guess.
Something about me bringing up the idea of a wedding in a few years.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. But what I was getting at, back to where I was trying to steer this conversation, was, unsurprisingly, my girlfriend is pretty, I don't know. I guess people would say goth is the word. I don't think so. It's become a whole joke. Have you been there for the Fortnite games?
Yes, I have been there. And I understood where this was going.
Yeah, no. So we were talking about, wedding things, and she's like, she was like, the Satanic Temple in Salem, Massachusetts would be really interesting, which it would be, right? Because that, neither of us are actually religious, so it doesn't matter where it ends up being, whatever. And it's like, Salem is really funny, especially on Halloween. Like, there's a lot of that's really fun. And I had looked into it. We had talked about it a little bit as a joke and then stopped talking about it. And then I was with my mom at one point, and she was like, oh, for Halloween, a Salem, Massachusetts wedding would be really cool. And I'm like, yeah, it would. But also, how the fuck do you get anybody there?
Right, exactly. I also find it funny because Rena knows you so well.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a super cool idea, but 90% of the people you'd want there wouldn't be able to go.
Right.
It's like, we're not rich enough for destination weddings because we can't afford to just pay everybody to go.
Well, yeah, that was our thing, because it would have been cool to have a destination wedding, but also I don't want to make people, they're already traveling enough as is. I don't want to send them to Hawaii or some shit like that.
Right.
I will say the cool thing that I've seen that I thought would be really cool, but we're not going to do it because,
yeah,
we're not. It would not be, none of our families would understand. And so, but anyway, me being the Star Wars fan I am, the cool thing I seen was, instead of a first dance, they did a Star Wars battle.
Yeah, that would be fucking cool.
They backed up and they kind of left, and then the lights went out, and then the Star Wars theme song started and then they kind of started walking, and then it turns into the Vader song,
the Imperial March. Yep.
And when that when that hits, the wife ignites her red lightsaber and then walks out and stands there, and then the husband, and it was New Hope or something like that. Is that? I don't remember which. Anyway, super light side song comes on.
Yeah.
And he ignites his lightsaber, and they walk out, and then they just kind of circle each other for a second, and then they have a badass battle song, and they just sit there and have a cool ass fucking lightsaber battle that's choreographed, of course.
Yeah.
They hired somebody to choreograph this for them. And so it looks super cool. I was like, that'd be so awesome. But it's just not really feasible.
I'd do that.
Also, the other reason why is in order to get a lightsaber that actually would withhold that battle scene, or being able to do that, they're expensive as fuck.
They're not that bad. There are some that are that bad. Mine will. And it was $90.
Right.
Because they're from the same company. But you've seen mine, right? Did I show it?
Yeah. Yep.
It's not designed like it's not a replica of the one I really want, Mace Windu's. It's not a replica of that. It's its own custom thing, which is cool. But that means they got to make the hilt itself way cheaper because it's just one tube of fucking aluminum that they CNC'd and then painted. And,
Right.
which is much different than if you want, because Mace Windu's is like 4 different metals with different bits that they have to weld on. And like that makes it more expensive because it's mostly about the blade type because you just buy a blade that's fine.
Mhm.
But
The cool lightsaber I seen, one of the expensive, it was like $400 and some dollars, maybe more than that.
the Windu one I want is that.
It was they had the God, what, who's the, we were just talking about him.
Like a
God damn it.
character, like a
Yes, the Dark Lord. Not the Dark Lord.
Maul, Sidious.
Maul.
Okay.
Darth Maul.
Okay.
So you know how he has so it's not Darth Maul, but the Inquisitor.
Yeah, the
that has
spinny one.
The spinny one. I seen one of those, and the guy like dimmed the lights, and he like freaking hit the spin. It was like it was so cool. I was like,
Yeah.
oh god, I might buy one of those.
Yeah.
And then I was like I looked it up, and it was like $400 to $600 for the cool one that he had.
Oh, dude.
I was like, oh.
Some of them are crazy. I'm on just the first website that popped up for sabers right now. One of my favorite things is finding like what they used to make the actual lightsabers. So like Anakin's original one, 90% of it was actually an old flash housing for a camera, like not flash housing, a handle for a camera that's called a Graflex. So you can go find just that. And it's like, well, now I'm 90% there. I can just like, get the other pieces and, put it together. That's fun. Or you go to this website and a lightsaber's $800 or more because they're all on sale supposedly. Like Darth Maul's just regular double-bladed lightsaber is $987.
Damn. So the one I was looking at was actually cheap.
Oh yeah. It depends on where you go. I can't remember where I got mine from. I'd have to go find the card or whatever.
I know I was about that close to buying a lightsaber from TwitchCon that one day in Vegas.
I bought one at Twitch. I bought 2 at TwitchCon last year because I bought one for me and I bought one for my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll tell you somebody who has a cool one. Andy has a cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
One of these days when we he inevitably has a vampire game again or something, and we're in video call, he'll have to show you. It's pretty cool.
God, I hope we get a vampire game.
Yeah. Well, I believe he's been talking about maybe running some kind of game. Hold on a second. I'm getting a phone call.
Dude got busy. But yeah, I'm still looking at lightsabers. I don't really like the ones I see here, but I just found a site that I just don't like. Their Mace Windu lightsaber looks nothing like Mace Windu's lightsaber, and that makes me upset. I don't like it. Legacy saber, I'm sure. Because that's Ahsoka's. See, these aren't too bad. I don't like the way some of them are. Because, like, these ones are supposed to be Ventress's, I think, but they're too flat. Right now, some of these are only like $80. That's not bad. I wish it was only $80. Where is Windu? I want the Mace Windu. I cannot find the Mace Windu. So many sabers. So little time. But yeah. I look every year that I've been at TwitchCon at lightsabers. I don't know. I ended up with one time. I don't know if I'll end up with another. I would love to. I don't know if I'll get to go back to TwitchCon. Definitely. Well, at least for right now, it seems like not this year. Interesting. Ugh. So I need Wonder back because we technically could have wrapped up the podcast, but I might do it. Oh, he's back.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Sorry,
Welcome
that
back.
was my brother, and he doesn't usually call me very often. So,
I get it.
they're
Everything
usually
good?
pretty important, which it was important. So he was asking if I was around to open up the fire hall because we had borrowed a whole bunch of tables and chairs from there for my niece's graduation party, and he wants to return them. And then he was also asking about so we're getting suits. We're getting kind of matching suits for the three of us.
Yeah.
And so he was asking where he needed to go to get measured because that's all he needs. I was like, all I need from you is to get measurements, and then we'll send it to the lady. She'll send it to the contractor, and when the wedding comes rolling around, we'll go and get fitted, and so hopefully everything should fit. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of important. It was regarding the wedding. So, and
Yeah.
then once we're done here, I'm gonna shoot him a text and let him know that he can come this way, and then I gotta go let him into the fire hall and unload tables and chairs real fast.
Oh,
So
yeah. Well, we were at the point where we could wrap up anyways, so
I figured as much. So
let's do that.
yeah.
But all right,
So.
well, I guess that'll do it for us. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.